Fellow Ghanaians, I know many of you are impatiently waiting for the ban on social gatherings to be lifted. I know, I really do. And I know one of the places people are waiting to storm is the church. People are looking forward to unprecedented communal worship in grandiloquence. I mean, I understand. And the general overseers, so they'll be like, I'm not locked down. When the lockdown inside was hard, oh, the Lord gave us anointed oil, rice, and leather meat. Then, you know, the keyboard is going, then the worship leader will be like, you know, and when you heal, you heal complete. Yeah, when you hear that, you should know that we have Bantama and British Osu coming together, British Accra, to give us a worship leader. Now, yeah, I know people are really looking forward to powerful times. I know that. It will come. But you see, Russia recorded over 10,000 cases in a day. Yes. Reports attribute this to thousands of people gathering in places of worship during the easing of the air lockdown. In South Africa, there has been reports of frustrations and stress because people have not had access to cigarettes during their lockdown. But in the Republic of India, there has been long queues up to 2 kilometers, as otherwise lockdown citizens must have, for guess what? Batashi. Yeah, booze. The police is having a hard time enforcing social distancing in India. In some cases, they are using sticks to hit people. Over here, we have reached our peak, according to the government, and our health minister is literally begging people to wear, you know, their face masks when they step out. But the police is having a particularly hard time, not with street boys, but with some people of faith. This is BackPage on Citi TV. My name is Caleb Kuda, and the Rona is not over. Welcome to BackPage on Citi TV. We're also on DSTV channel 363. My name is Caleb Kuda. Someone just reminded me that I have forgotten about the prayer warriors and how they would jubilate when the ban on social gatherings is lifted. I mean, it's more like go, lockdown, me say, I come, me lockdown, your body to pay, corona, your body to pay, everybody to pay. Luckily, we know how the choir masters will, you know, rejoice when Agbele Mosomo onane. Someone says the choir master looks like Hanson. No, Hanson doesn't sing that much. Until then, long suffering is still a fruit of the Spirit, and it requires that we hold on small for the Rona to be properly defeated, because right now cases have gone past 3,000. Yeah, and they say we have reached our peak.
With a sharp rise, and now with the cases that we are tested, clearly we seem as a country to be on top of the peak, and we are at a stage to decline. That is the observation now. The declination will depend on how we adhere to the various preventive etiquettes that have been enumerated.
But some independent analysts say, share. In other words, war peaky, or better still, no peeking, baby. You understand? No touching, baby, and no coughing, baby, and just stay home, baby.
And if you look at the curve again, just observing the curve, no statistical exercise, you can also see, you know, the rate or the rate of change increasing over time. So that clearly indicates to you that we're nowhere near the peak of the crisis. If they were to go out and do more testing, they will actually pick up more cases.
Right now, no, it appears analysts are talking their own English and citizens too are talking their own language. Oh, but the curve is not curving, the arrow knot is not knotting, some say it will nothing. Just like they keep nuancing our thoughts and emotional positivity rates, and bro, I can say, hey, you know, but for these daughters of Zion, 1,000 viruses may fall on their left hand, 10,000 can even decide to enter their mouth, still they won't wear the nose masks.
Enkume me say sayadiano say ya ura yesu din hihye ya na se me yo tire ne me nante nyame akwanso pepepe na se sayadie wonkumi free wiase but adwuma no ye wani die wo pani wo bia for respect mano fani die ma hwede wo besi ni pakwana dai akasa because me pani mo sino wonko fa sabonkum ne me kasa ba hatie what you see madam brawai what you see na kasa rough me pani mo sino me honhom ni pada me gina to me nyina wura eno wura yesu to me nyina wura eno wura yesu amen to me nyina wura eno wura yesu madam brawai to me nyina wura ni wura yesu say adwa we hu su ya be huntem me nyini say colonial violence wo ye ti a me nyini say yesu ni ye great chain colonial violence na dia ntina wase me gidi ya me dia me nyini me to me na me kan bible wo me gidi o bible mu nse anhoro ye nsa na yenya bible say oh na say ohoro nsa ne dia o ho say o be ohoro nsa ba ohoro nsa so ohoro no for the purpose so at yasem na me ohoro me nsa at I can't say just like that say what do you want to tell me? I know say then eti me nyini say colonial violence wo
oh my God, colonial violence. No, I mean, you look. See, when you look at the way these two daughters of Zion have their headgears, on some the way they have their headgears on. Some of my friends and in fact colleagues say they suspect the two daughters are some of my people. I mean, open fire. But you see. It cannot be so, because though we have faith, we respect authority, right from the top to the Mofradamfo.
But we are under authority, so we have to abide by the protocols. Do you get what I'm saying?
Which means you believe that your prayer has been answered.
Has been answered. And then when we step out there in faith, God will show himself strong. I believe that prayer has been answered, but we work under authority. And we must use wisdom. Our faith is not of the same level. And so I am a leader of the church, but I'm under the authority of the president.
Excellent. Now, if you had any doubts about the identity of the two daughters of Zion, clearly, when they say my sheep hear my voice, they are hearing different voice. So that thing, no, I mean, the Uriah daughters of Zion, what could be, the motivation?
Minister.
Na me buy. No kasa. Ogu bi o se me de ma no na me de ma. Na me pa che o se. Ye no. Me no ye nti o. E na o ka no. Wo wo de o de ba ho ba. But the nipa wo no mo sign no so no. E bia na e bi so ngo ho ba.
Daddy.
Yes so.
Daddy. Ora Yesu na bo ho ban. Anapa. Awia. Anajo. Se won yam fon so bia. Na nya bane bia la ora Yesu. One jama saya do be to the belada. I don't know Yesu
nini. Daddy, me a penny. Well, basically, at the heart of the whole banter, after that, some pakatre, understand. Even then, the police didn't refuse her entry to the Central Business District. They simply said, wear a face mask. No wonder when someone offered to help her carry her Bible, she refused. Boy, yeah, now, Becca, share. She will give you the treasury. You know, for those, I mean, the daughter of Zion, someone, for one of them, someone bought a free face mask for her. Still, or say she won't wear it.
We got to them free. Who is it? One shot, the battery.
Mo pochi mi akotu ba la ase mo ye mi den. Ah mo chi mi akotu.
Stop na me. Say.
I ask me shakura meyi. Me shakura meyi because me ade no wa no obo wa ho ban. We boy nipa ho ban. Me shakura meyi we.
Thankfully, she wore it anyway. But please, you know, this is not the reckless faith Pastor Wegam has been preaching about. If anything at all, remember that obedience is better than sacrifice. That one too is captured in the scripture. That said, back to Choko, someone said something that we should all take a cue from. So the residents refused to clear the garbage in their gutters. Meanwhile, Chenche, former mayor, and now mayor, plus Milord, Works and Housing Minister, they were all there to help clean their gutters.
You join in these activities and later you end up being a fool to yourself, because look at what you people have done. Tomorrow just come and see, and you see that what you people have done is waste. They'll go to toilet in the midnight, they'll come and boil it in it. If you ask them why, they'll tell you this is not your bedroom. There are a lot of public toilets here, but to pay is what I don't understand.
Why I'm not joining this cleanup is these people, they are very, very dirty. Anytime I will clean the water, then they can pour the rubbish on the water. Is it good? Is it good?
I agree. We have to be careful, but Chemuna, Choko, Zamrama line, and Sukura people. I mean, those of you who tip refuse into the drains, no, you too, you won't join to do the cleanup exercise, no. Honestly, I'm just tired, but I wish you well. Let me cross the Chemuna Lagoon, you know, where the floating bridge floated away, and go to Dansuman, because we are in the process of commissioning a new Terminator in the order of Kwesi Amwakwata. Ladies and gentlemen, Terminator 2.
That's what I want to find out. Is it more important than your life or your health? Wouldn't so Hana do call fear? Who decide with fear for you now? Obi on the Betnakamu, Obi on the Guia Juma. Obi ande ne bekasa ubetimi dia sai no dewro ya boa no montiye ati afo no woni mani dawa are these people observing social distance?
Manager finish, oh, manager finish. See, if the manager is your brother, pray harder, because money no day. Any unemployment way, baby, it will be fatal. And the truth is, the company may be doing this well in other places, social distancing and all, but the people in that area, no, I've been telling you in the last, 2 weeks. Right? Because just look at that. The AMA mayor, former mayor, people, they all went to the silt gutters in that area, and people still refuse to join. So if that, but you know, I've been telling you about Dr. Baumia in the last 2 weeks. The fact that I've been looking forward to him dealing with your mama, well, he has been speaking. I'll tell you about that and the fallout after this break. But, of course, I can't tell you about Terminator 2 without telling you about my beloved Terminator 1. He has been doing the most in the Shanti region recently, where the Opimswo, who happens to be an Akweku, celebrated his 70th birthday. Your Majesty, Nyankwada.
The government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is tackling the Sofo line interchange. We shall, within the next 1 to 2 months, finish the first phase, and the second phase, since we have had the approval from PPA, will begin before the end of this month, and it will go in earnest.
Terminator one, what's it? He also said that government is allergic to study job. I must confess that in my own area, a lot of work is ongoing, and I've been quietly documenting the progress of work because I don't want to do a story and the contractor will inadvertently say something. No, then this will happen.
I will take steps to terminate that contract immediately. I will terminate it, I will repackage it, and I will re-award it.
Terminator, even too much. I mean, we have exclusive footage away from Terminator, exclusive footage of ex-President Mahama's live reactions watching Dr. Bawumia haunt him. So this is what you should do. Wait for me. I return and show you what Mahama's reaction was like. But while I'm away, do this.
So, my viewers, please, we are praying. So you may want to watch the TV with your eyes closed.
Welcome back. This is BackPage on Citi TV. On DSTV, the channel is 363, and on my birth certificate, my name happens to be Caleb Kuda. I hear real gentlemen wear pink, so yeah, Vim Day, you understand. To be honest, the corona, it has disrupted a lot of things. But when the government is doing the most it can and its ratings grow, it becomes difficult for an opposition leader to campaign efficiently. But in the last 2 weeks, like we saw Mr. Mahama up the ante small. He upped the ante small. Upping the ante, by the way, is a Duke Mensa Opoku's byline while contesting for Legon Hall JCR presidency. I mean, people were using slogans like "Your mind for day, we there for you." A Jedu alone, big English, upping the ante, boy. But yes, Mr. Mahama upped the political ante in the COVID atmosphere.
Unfortunately, this government has used a lot of propaganda. They said the economy has been the best that we've ever had since independence. Unfortunately, just 1 month of coronavirus and the economy is in ICU. If we didn't run to the IMF for the 1 billion rapid credit facility, it is possible that in the next 2 months, probably salaries could not have been paid. And so, our economy is on ventilators, and it needs thinking to rescue it from the ICU.
ICU. Since then, since President Mahama's comment, there have been rebuttals a lot, but the one we have been waiting for, all of us, finally came. Dr. Bawumia's.
In fact, if you look at the data, in terms of macroeconomic performance in any economy, since the year 2000, the tenure of the former president was the worst in terms of outcome. My humble advice to former President Mahama is to take a look at the data. This is not green book data. This is just the data, right? Take a look at the data before you speak. Otherwise, you will end up embarrassing yourself. There is no government in the history of the Fourth Republic, the first term government in the history of the Fourth Republic, that has provided as much infrastructure across all the sectors, whether you're talking about roads, you're talking about water, you're talking about toilets, you're talking about education, you're talking about health.
I promised you a live footage. I promised you a live footage of ex-President Mahama watching Bawumia's job, right? Okay, here you have it.
Medeminsa or Bonsamani. The time of Russia, Ubeti.
Yeah. Dr. Bawumia advising John Mahama just because today he too knows how it feels like to be at the presidency. Times have changed, you know, because sometime back you were told to be president before you could advise, you know, and sometimes those who were victimized when they were in lesser positions become perpetrators of victimization when the tables turn, you know. Anyway, while the digital ninja was busy bragging and comparing records, a lot of people thought he was comparing records that didn't cut it. Well, the president was crying his heart out on how badly Corona has destroyed the budget, the economy. Chese Everton.
I think it is also important that you and everybody in the country also know that government is one of the biggest, if not the hardest hit by this pandemic. We've had huge parts of government revenues that have gone out of the window as a result of the pandemic. The 2020 budget, which was made in November, was predicated on a $65 barrel oil. Today we all know that oil now is what? It's at $20, $18, $19, $20, $21 a barrel. So even just those statistics tell you what a very big hole has been punched in government revenues as a result.
So whereas Dr. Bawumia is bragging about the economy and how resilient it is under his watch, and of course his boss too, his boss is crying at how Corona has left the economy in tatters. Many people took Dr. Bawumia on. They say, we see you and we see Jack, where are you? In fact, we can't even see Jack, where are you again? but Dr. Gideon Boakun, right? He will have none of that.
Every economy must make sure that the influx of negative news or this political space is not inundated with negative news in order to derail anything. So whilst we respect the opinion and the rhetoric that we should all help to do away with politics in this crisis and find a solution, and that is what government has been doing. Whilst we respect that, it is only fair and prudent to come and iron the rough edges to make sure that the negative news does not impact on the economy in an adverse manner.
That's right. Dr. Bawumia's aide says negative news from Mahama can collapse the economy. So they won't allow that. Meanwhile, the finance minister has been all over the place biting his fingers on how to keep the economy going, whilst Dr. Gideon Boakun had to prove why his next salary must hit his account. Damongo MP was also busy justifying why he is an efficient minority MP.
The plans. And you come and tell me that President Mahama couldn't manage himself. He should go and sleep over it, rethink, and look at the month in which we are as Muslims, and come to apologize to the people of Ghana for lying to them. The second one he did indicate was that under President Nana Akufo-Addo, there had been reduction in tariffs. I want to remind him, in 2013, President Mahama reduced tariffs by 25%. Let's do the analysis. You did 17, not up to 25. And we want him to understand that it is not any legacy that President Nana Akufo-Addo has done. It has been done by President Mahama, and much better than what they have done.
You know, someone asked me, do you also get people asking you for money? I said, boy, it's a tall order. He said, Charlie, times are hard, oh. Jobs are lost, no salaries, hungry mouths to feed, no food at home, no money, surplus prices, still not surplus at all. Just say, even though the lockdown has been lifted, the hardship is so real. But look at what, blue and green have been up to.
Is it fine? Is it fine? Is it normal thing? Is it unfair? Is it fine? Is it fine? Is it normal thing? Is it unfair?
I'm not sure. Is it fine? Is it normal thing? I'm not sure. But these are politicians. Well, maybe Ejedu can tell, can tell them something. Ejedu, tell them something.
This was not the best. This was not nice. It was not pleasant to the eye. It did not in any way add an iota of essence to the international image and the reputation of the country. What happened needs not happen again.
It's not nice. It should not happen again. In fact, I try to give them. Give them.
Give them. You give them. Give them. Give them. You give them. Give them.
I thank God for your life. And I'm happy that you didn't fall. The plans of the enemies didn't work. And it's been your birthday week, so yeah, Charlie. But the cake, you have to do it. Do something. Every industry, my friends, every industry has been hard hit. It's really a very difficult time. And we, journalists too, in the media industry, are not immune to the hardships, the difficulties, and even the possibility of contracting coronavirus in line of duty. We are not immune.
So sometimes I rub the hand sanitizer on my skin. I'm so too cautious. Sometimes I ask myself, assuming any journalist gets it, how about what if that person is me? What will happen to my body if the virus gets into my lungs? Can I be more careful? Those who have died, are they better than me? All these questions kind of run through your head.
That is the grim reality. Times are hard, Charlie. Times are really hard. Government says it is providing some 5,000 PPEs, for the media. Thank you. But the stimulus package, that one too, we are waiting. Giddy.